All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Mr. Fisher? No, I'm sorry. Let's have the first responders lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here.
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 Yeah. He's absent today. Well, just want to start off by telling everybody that we are being recorded tonight, so anybody who does not wish to be recorded can leave now, go home and watch us live on Channel 9, I think, Michelle, right? Is it 9?
Waiting for a thumbs up. Thumbs up on the 9.
All right, Channel 9. Thank you, Michelle. All right, let's get rolling. So first, I want to say yesterday was 9/11, and I just want to extend some thank yous to our first responders over here to my right. So thank you guys very much for what you guys do every day in and every day out. Same as the police station, all the firemen, the police, the EMS that we have in town. They're just incredible people, and they put their life out there every single day. So I just want to thank them and thank you guys. So thank you. Also, okay, guys, we haven't really met since school opened, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So I got to say, I don't want to jinx anybody. I know we get some teachers here, so I'm going to knock on wood. But it seems to be pretty smooth so far. You know, we had a lot of changes going on, and they've been good changes. And I will say this, the traffic, I know people love to complain about traffic. It's one of their favorite topics. It's always going to be there. But I will say this here at the Belmonte, Dr. Lukey and her team, they've done an incredible job keeping everybody moving. I know you're not going to please everybody, but I'm going to tell you, I left one day pretty late. It was 7:52. I was here and dropped my daughter off by 8:01, and that's pretty much unheard of. So they got plenty of bodies out there moving people along, smiling, waving, and it's really working well. And the vets does the same thing. And the vets is a little different because most of those kids need help getting out of the car, and they just can't, you can't just toss them out and say, hey, get in there, So it's a little different, but it moves. So I appreciate everybody's patience. The high school, we could probably tweak it up a little bit and keep it moving, but overall, everybody's been doing a great job, and just welcome back and happy to see it. What else we got? That is pretty much it. I'm sorry, back to school night. I went to the high school back to school night for my son and the middle school back to school night, and I'll tell you, it's really good to see what goes on up there. And a lot of parents showed up this year. I was actually pretty shocked. The years past, I've been in the high school. It's been me and maybe two other parents, but a couple of classes were pretty full. Parents, paying more attention to what's going on with the kids. So it's good to see. Tonight's obviously the Belmonte one, but yeah. So we're gonna miss that one. We'll have to work on that next year.
I know.
So we can have the school committee on a separate night. And I know he's not here, but I'm gonna bring it up. Mr. Sullivan. I just want to say thank you to him, and he's leaving after 25 years, is 25? Moving on to be a Reggie, whatever that is. No one knows what a Reggie is, but it's where he's going. And I wish him the best of luck. Honestly, like I said, he's one of the best guys around. And like I said, on a personal note, he's a good guy to talk to, a good friend. He's a great family guy, and that really goes a long way with me. You could be whatever you are in life, but if you're a good family man, that says a lot about you. So he's going to be missed. He's very well liked by everybody, and he's a really good guy. So I just want to wish him the best of luck. And anybody want to add anything to that?
Mr. Chairman?
Good, sir.
I too, Mr. Sullivan's been in the district for a long, long time. He served in many roles, union president for a while, and, curriculum coordinator, principal. And you're right, I see it firsthand. He is a great family guy, and the dedication he's shown to the district, to the teachers, has been awesome, and he will be missed. So I'd like to also thank him for his time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to echo that as well. I know when the three of us came on the school committee, we had COVID right after that, remote learning. We had a lot of the realignment of the school district. There was a lot going on, and he was always a constant presence, very steady, always answered his phone, really solid guy, and I know he has a much shorter commute now, if we can figure out where the Reggie is. So best of luck to him, and also congratulations to Dr. Scazzarella.
Yes, yes. All right, I think that's going to bring it back to the superintendent. So,
You took a lot of my
oh, you always say
my
that.
open. No, but you did. I mean,
definitely
I-
right
Pretend
now,
we said
yeah,
that.
I take that.
Pretend we said that.
Yeah, okay. No, I do think that we got off to a pretty good year, school year. I think the start went pretty smoothly. I do want to publicly thank everybody for their well wishes as my family went through a time of grief. So I do want to thank everybody for, stepping up and supporting us as we tried to open the school year. I do also, I've worked with Brendan since he got here. It's close to a quarter century at this point, if you want to do it that way. And I worked with him in a lot of capacities and very closely in some. He was my vice principal as a principal at Saugus High School, and it's tough to imagine being here without him. He's been around for a while. You sort of take for granted he'll be here. I want to thank him for everything he has done for the town of Saugus and the Saugus Public Schools and Saugus High School and now the Saugus Middle High School complex. So I do want to thank him both professionally and personally, and wish him nothing but the best of luck. So.
I do just want to touch on one thing. I want to thank you, too. I forgot to add that in there. I know it was a tough time for your family right around the first day of school, and you still came in, still did what you had to do. You still got the buildings open, and so thank you.
Yep, no, I thank everybody for their support. So, just a few announcements of things. We need to have a policy subcommittee meeting coming up because we do have questions about the admission policy. That's one thing, but more importantly, Title IX policy will have to be changed and amended to meet the new restrictions or qualifications, or I'm not sure what word I'm looking for, but the new act that was put in place. So we need to have that at some point. I'm also going to have a wellness committee meeting coming up next week to review the YRBS survey results with the wellness committee, and I'll get the results to the school committee as a whole as well. We have the enrichment program is starting on next week. We're starting the enrichment program at the Belmonte, the middle school, and the high school next week, and the week after at the vets. There's been a good amount of students that have shown interest. We have, I think, 11 or 12 offerings at the middle school and the Belmonte, those two schools. The high school and the vets are 4 or 5 offerings. We knew that would be smaller because of the age groups of the kids and the fact that they already have things going on after school. But it looks like the attendance will be fairly high, and so we had a lot of good things happening there. I may have an announcement next week, but I did want to throw it out there, is that we put the Saugus Middle High School complex on the list to host a preliminary drama fest competition. We've never hosted before, but they were looking for a site, I think in the greater Boston area or this region, and Nick Raponi, who is the director, put us in. We should find out over the weekend whether we'll be a host site, and if we're a host site, naturally, that's where we'll compete. And, there's always that home field advantage in everything. So I know that Mr. Hatch has gone to some of those drama fests. I have gone to a bunch of them, and they're a day long where 7-8 teams compete. And it's really an exciting competition, and to be able to host it would be amazing, and well worth going to for anybody who's interested in the fine arts. Our athletic teams have taken off. Our new athletic director, Matt Serino, has got the teams up and running. I've been able to go to a boys soccer game, a girls soccer game, and a field hockey game. And I'm selfish or I'm biased because having been the boys varsity coach in the past, it was really nice to watch the skill set of players out there. I'm not saying anybody else doesn't have the skill, but it was nice because the boys soccer program was a program that was almost down and out about half dozen years ago. We were out of the Northeast Conference temporarily and trying to find hand-picked schools to play, and we've gone from that to in the 2 years ago, getting a Northeast Conference title, and the skill set is amazing on those kids. So it's nice to see the program back up and running. We have 2 robotics teams going to be formed at the middle school, and that's a change because it has always been a robotics program at the elementary schools, and then that's where it's kind of, but we're putting 2 robotics teams at the middle school, thanks in part to Mrs. Dwyer, who's taken an active role in that. And I do want to thank Dr. Scazzarella, and I will introduce her as the principal next meeting, but I do want to thank her for coming back to Saugus and stepping up to the plate.
Yeah.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you. You know, I just, actually just came from the middle school cross-country meet up at the Breakout. You know,
Oh, did
so,
you?
Yeah. Winthrop had about 900 kids. And Saugus had a handful, but you know, I can tell you, the kids did a great job, you know, so it's,
But it's
I wish
tough
we had
when-
more to offer the kids in the middle school, though, you know, as
Yeah.
far as sports go, because, you know, I think it would go a long way with helping, first off, keep kids in the district.
Correct.
Second off, you know, help when they get to the high school level, you know?
Yeah, and I think Mr. Sereno's all.
Yeah,
over
no,
that.
absolutely, absolutely. He's
Taking
he's
my
got some
taking my
plans, you know?
thunder here.
I was gonna say.
Well, sorry. But, yeah, no, so,
Absolutely.
thank you. All right, so we get the reports of the subcommittees. Do we have anything to report on?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, sir.
so I'll be scheduling an athletic subcommittee meeting for next month, the second week in October. As we reported last time, we had our athletic subcommittee meeting a few weeks ago. We will be talking at this meeting about getting a preview for winter sports, spring sports, but we'll also be talking about an old business item that one of the things that we strongly talked to Mr. Sereno about was recruiting and forming middle school athletic teams, starting this coming spring and moving into the fall.
Awesome. That it?
That's it.
Oh, okay. Is that it for reports for the subcommittees?
I believe that's it.
All right. All right, so next we have old business, which I don't think we have any old business to take care of today. So we'll go right to new business. And we'll have the presentation of the district improvement plan aligned with a 5-year strategic plan.
Yep, I'll take, you all have a copy of the district improvement plan in front of you. It's 4 pages, 2 pages front and back. We've been fortunate that we put together a year and a half ago, over a couple-year period, a strategic plan that was a 5-year strategic plan. So each year, we're targeting different focus areas as a school system. There's a ton of areas we could focus on, but we're trying to target the ones that we think will give us the most impact. So this year, the mission and the mission and the vision are the same as they have been, but we've selected 3 primary focus areas for this school year. One in the area of growth, and that would be to develop a work culture and environment to ensure Saugus is a district where educators are valued, appreciated, and motivated. Under belonging, offer students in all grades access to opportunities that match their talent and interests. And under learning, we actually stayed with the same focus and goal there, because that one is such an important one, and that's provide all students with a standards-aligned, consistently outstanding instruction within a supportive learning environment. So that's really the nuts and bolts of the learning. And I'm not going to read over, I mean, you can read this for yourselves, but what I've done is I've also kept in place as secondary areas of focus the two of the other objectives that we had for last year. So we'll keep those in mind. So that would be supporting teachers through coaching and professional development and strengthening the communication and engagement efforts. Those aren't going away just because they were focus areas last year. We're not going to forget that they are key items in our plan. So what you'll then see is that basically is the plan, and then you'll see all the objectives and the matching action steps that we plan on taking for each one to make sure that we reach those objectives and reach those targets. And what happens is, with your approval, this will be the district improvement plan for the year. I will send it out to the principals this evening, and then they will meet with their school councils and their stakeholders to form their school improvement plans based on these target areas. And then in a meeting, probably in about a month or so, they'll come back to you to present their school improvement plans. That's the organizational process.
All right. I guess my really only concern is, does this have to be voted on tonight?
No, it doesn't have to be, but if it gets voted on tonight, fine. If it doesn't,
We can
then
push it to the next meeting, because I'd like to have, at least be able to look it over more than 2 seconds, you know, and also have a little bit of input from Mr. Sereno as well.
That's fine. No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll just pick it up next meeting?
It's fine with me. You take a look at it, look it over, and then the only thing I'll do is I'll hold off on because I don't want them to write their school improvement plans on the fly if something doesn't match for you.
All right. Somebody overrule me here.
No, if you want to wait, absolutely.
Oh, I'm fine with that,
Okay.
to be able to look at, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want a motion for that?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be perfectly honest here. You know, we're not the educators, you know, but we have talked about different points of what
Emphasis.
we'd like to see happen, and so I just want to make sure that, you know, what Mr. Sereno relayed to you was part of it, you know, so. All right, so can I get a motion to table till,
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to table the improvement plan until the next meeting.
Chair will second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Mr. Superintendent.
No problem.
All right, so next we have the update from the middle school associate principal, Mr. Dave Maiku, orientation, school opening, and back to school night. So, go, sir.
All right, I got some notes here just to make sure I don't forget anything. So I'll start with kind of the order of how they happened. So we had our sixth grade orientation this summer. It was actually my first one because last year I was hired after this, so it was good to be a part of that and kind of see the kids before school started. So we had our orientation August 6th and 7th. You know, we communicated out with the help of the Belmonte staff to kind of early let them know what's going on. We got a lot of feedback. So we got about 138 sixth graders who attended the 2 days with our current enrollment at 217, which I think is a little bit higher than it was. So it's probably about 70% of the sixth grade class made it. A lot of the students, you could tell, were nervous walking in, hugging their parents, kind of like, I don't want to go in. And the second day, you know, they come in, they have a color day theme that they kind of do at the high school. People came in all the colors, yellow tutus, kind of all the above. So you could really tell it helps the sixth graders get adjusted, because I know the building looks gigantic to them. You know, you kind of explain, well, it's a whole building, but you're really in that, mostly in the pod with some other places, but a lot of the kids definitely felt more comfortable with that. We also had about 40 high school student volunteers who kind of served as, it's almost like camp counselors. If you know, they're the ones who have a group of kids, they go over all like the icebreakers, they do the tours of the building. So I think that's a big kind of building school community where, you know, you have 9th, 10th, 11th graders kind of showing sixth graders a rope, kind of giving them the real scoop per se. And kind of I think it builds, like we say, we want kids to stay in Saugus to show, you know, they talk about the positive things. It was 2 hours both days. And then we also, you know, we, of course, in the summer, you're never going to find a perfect day where all parents and kids can make it. So we offered private tours to parents and students of kids who couldn't make it. And I mean, we probably had at least 10 or 15 take us up on that. So, you know, we're getting close to most of the sixth graders got in the building before the school year, which is the goal of that. But we had 3 staff workers for that, and they did a great job. They get the kids very excited, where it's more team building, getting ready for the school year. And they did, the name of his I Survive Middle School. It's kind of the theme of it. So the whole thing is about, like, again, just building that school community and kind of coming together. Now I'll jump to kind of the overall, like, school opening. To the best of my, you know, what I've heard, you know, the very positive start to the year. So again, last year I came in, I think I came to the school 5 days before the opening, so it's kind of just wrapping my head around how this place works, the new building. So this year it was nice to be able to kind of plan things, look at schedules, kind of collaborate with teachers. But everybody, the climate just seems different this year. I think we're all on the same page. We have, again, there's a lot of district things going on. But, you know, me and Mr. Dwyer, even though we're in different roles, we kind of come back with the same philosophy and mindset. Many teachers have even, commented that this year has been, one of the smoothest openings they've had, at least especially since the middle high school was built, but I'm sure just in general, I think it's just that feeling, right? Hallway transitions have been very smooth and orderly. Even, sometimes, a lot of kids using one stairwell versus that, it's kind of all fell into place. So I think we haven't had many issues there at all. Students are getting very good with the lockers. That's a big push with the sixth graders, learning how to twist it 3 times, go back, go forward. The teachers are experts because I think they have to repeat it 100 times, but the kids are being very quick and kind of learning those executive functioning skills where, staying organized, keeping things in the locker that they don't need. Cell phones, that was a big thing we discussed this summer. It's been almost a non-factor at the middle school. We've had a few maybe first-time offenses where the kid just needed the reminder, but it's been a way. If you're at lunches in the hallways, there's no cell phones or AirPods being used, which is great. As Mr. Hashem said, we have the after-school enrichment program starting on Monday. At this time, we have about 150 students signed up, which is great because, again, it's a new program. Kind of feel rushed at the beginning of the year getting all that out. I know a lot's going on, so I think that's great to see. Some of the things are, history club, basketball, robotics, which is, I think I didn't realize how many scientists we have. I think we might have to steal the STEAM Academy up there, but I mean, we were over the top on people interested in robotics, which is great. So we're happy that's going to be rolling. There's math tutoring every day of the week, basically. There's a running club, so hopefully we can maybe get some kids interested to join the cross-country team. And overall, I think just building that school buy-in where, again, kids, they go to school, but all right, add something in there too, where you get to do something that's kind of academic-based, but it's more of a community builder. And back to school night, as you mentioned, it was a great turnout this year. I don't know the exact count, but a lot of the middle school classes were full. Even the teacher was saying, I felt like I had a full class of kids in there. I think part of it, we communicated, I think, very well with this. There was reminders weeks out. We sent probably a reminder the day before. I sent a reminder that afternoon just to kind of make sure everybody's seeing that. We offered sixth grade parents to come in at 5:30 to get kind of a more in-depth kind of parent orientation, go over kind of the basics of how middle school works, and I think that was well received. A lot of them, they were outside waiting at 5 o'clock. It's like the kids in the morning. And then parents basically follow their student schedules just like they do periods 1 through 7. We also had a high school volunteers to help them, get around and make sure, they know where they're going. PTO was also there, which is great to get them back involved. I think about 25 or so parents either signed up or showed interest, so we're hoping to get that rolling for some of our upcoming, 8th grade big trips, but even like 6th and 7th grade, get some, fun things for them. And then I just wanted to add, as you guys, I know Mr. Sullivan was a little tardy to this meeting, but he had a nice opening. You guys all said nice things, but I want to thank him as well. He was, the guy who hired me. People probably think he's crazy for bringing me in. No, I'm just kidding. But he served well as a mentor, supporter. He's always there. Gets there first to work. He's always there after. So even though it's only been a year, I appreciate all his support. So I think that's about it.
All right. Mr. Sullivan, I'm going to double down on what I said earlier. I'll say it for anybody again. You're one of the best guys around, and like I said, you're a great family man, and it goes a long way, man. So we just really appreciate everything you've done for us, and your contributions to the district, and you've kind of worked your way all the way up, so we're going to miss you. But again, we're all talking like, what the hell's a Reggie, I'll find out. All right, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Maiku, thank you very much for that. The back to school night was cool. It was fun. I survived middle school. The kids enjoyed that too. So you guys are doing a good job over there. So I appreciate that. Probably shouldn't mention it, but I'm going to mention it. The backpack thing. There's been we thought we had clarity on the backpack policy, and some parents had texted me and said that some teachers said that kids can't use the backpacks, and so I'm just trying to find out what is the blanket message that we're sending out there? Just so anybody at home watching this, and there's probably quite a few home watching this right now that want to know what's going on. So if I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you can help us out a little bit,
So overall, I know a message went out yesterday. So, just like kind of like, the phones and all that, but the backpacks were very encouraged to, be in the students' lockers. Some of the reason for that is, again, even last year when kids get dismissed or need to leave, the backpacks are very heavy. A lot of these kids are carrying around all day, which I know is not good for them. It prevents the clutter in the classrooms. We've had teachers, let me know last year, many teachers tripped over bags that were, they have the hooks on some classes, but some of the tables don't have it. So it was more the clutter is the big thing, and the kids being distracted by a lot of stuff in their backpacks they probably don't need for that class. So that's why we really encouraged it to go into the lockers. Students are going to be, as per the message last night, allowed to have their backpacks. They're not going to be, it's not policy to put them in the lockers. But it's one of those things we just want to make sure that kids are, that distraction-free learning, right? Just like the cell phones, we don't want kids, with the cell phones, we had basically no issues. We just don't want that to be, well, the cell phone's in my backpack, let me go in the hallway. So that was the push to kind of leave anything not needed in their lockers. But again, if the student needs to have the backpack, they're allowed to do that.
All right, so the kids, if they want to carry backpacks, they can carry backpacks?
Yes.
Okay, so, again, just so we're clear, so in the classroom, they should be on the hooks? If there's hooks, they should be on the hooks. Or in a designated space that the teacher...
Yeah, so exactly. So
Okay.
teachers are going to have, so most like the regular classroom desks have those hooks, as
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen. But teachers still have either it's that or a designated area that they decide, either back of the room or whatever works for that class. Because I know, we have science labs, we
Yeah,
have
absolutely,
the STEM room, so each one's going to be a little bit different, but it's basically either on the hook or wherever the teacher designates.
Okay. Like I said, I'm a guy who likes to have clear communication, and I'm getting mixed messages from some parents and stuff, and it's just easy to come out and let's just all be in the same room, and we'll find out what the policy is, or it's not really a policy, it's a, what do we call it?
Procedure.
A procedure. Just so everybody's on the same page, that's all,
A little too close.
But, I appreciate you coming up and clarifying for everybody, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Oh, where am I? Oh, sorry, my bad.
You're the chairman.
Still you.
Next up, we have a presentation on special ed from Ms. Dawn Trainer, the Executive Director of Pupil Personnel Services and Administrator of Special Education. Does that all fit on your door? It's a pretty long title there.
It's a mouthful, right? Okay, so, I think you all have the report in front of you. Finally, and again, I'm Dawn Trainer, Executive Director of Pupil Personnel. Thanks so much for having me here tonight. I'd like to give an update on special education. I was here in August to present before the opening of school, and at that point, I had communicated to the board and some of the members here. We got a draft report from the Department of Ed about our tiered focus monitoring results. And at that time, I received the draft report like a day before I presented, but I was so thrilled with the findings that I wanted to share it. We finally got the final report. I've certified that report with DESE, and I have it in front of you now. Essentially, I want to go over this again a little bit more and kind of flesh out what it's about, but I won't go all the way through it. You can see it's very lengthy. Public schools go through a monitoring process for special education. It was previously called the Coordinated Program Review. Some of you may remember that term. Now we call it the Tiered Focus Monitoring. There are 37 standards by which they measure us against the federal and state standards for special education. These are legal compliance standard ratings. And of all of the 37 standards, we had a 0 finding, which means we are in full compliance, which is amazing, okay?
Wow.
I really have to hammer that home because I don't know if it'll ever happen again. I can't promise that, but this has been a lot of hard work by a lot of people. And I'm going to break down what this means, okay? So what happens over this whole process, it takes about a couple of years. For the Department of Ed to come in, first they assess us in 4 areas, okay? So really, there's about 4 buckets I'm going to describe. The first one would be student identification, and with that, we're talking about the evaluation process, the assessments that we use during that process for special education eligibility. The IEP development process, all of the steps that we take, including parent and guardian meaningful participation, and then getting through that process of developing the IEP to the implementation of the IEP, okay? Programming and support services. This is really important because every school district in Massachusetts has to have a continuum of services and programming for students ages 3 to 21 with disabilities, okay? And this also includes transitional and vocational services. And then the last bucket would be equal opportunity and access for students. So in this area, we're talking about students' access in the general education setting, providing behavioral interventions and supports, and also really important access to non-academic and extracurricular activities for students with disabilities. Okay, so that making sure that they're supported, and the people that teach these students in outside of school times before and after know what these kids need. We go through a self-assessment phase where I upload a lot of documents to the department for review. There's a little bit of back and forth, there's spreadsheets and such that we talk about. If there's something that's missing, I get that for them. That takes quite a few months. And then the next phase is the on-site phase. During that phase, DESE will survey staff and parents and caregivers. They will also interview staff, members of the CPAC, which are Special Education Parent Advisory Council. Yep, that's what it is. That's the acronym for that. And they also review additional special education records of their choosing because, you know, we'll upload records, but they want to make sure if they see something, we want to make sure, yes, okay, Saugus looks good here, but let's check 2, 3, 4 more records to make sure we're correct and we're going to give this finding and we're okay with the finding. So they really do their homework with this. When I presented the the draft, and it really wasn't in draft form to you yet, I just let you know about it. Mr. Whitridge, you had a really good question, and you had asked me how many districts come in with a 0 finding. So as I was doing my certification process with our representative, I asked her that question because I really thought that was a good one. She told me out of the 80 districts, half of them have been reported so far for last year's findings, and over, I guess we're in the top 25% at this point. So I figure there's another half to be reported. We probably will move up, which is really good.
Wow, yeah.
And just so you know, like, it's very typical to at least get 2 or 3 findings. It's very, very typical. 5, 6, 7, 8 findings are very normal. So a 0 finding is very, very good. And the basic piece that I want to drive home here is, yes, it is about working with the Department of Ed to make sure that we give kids what they need per the regulations, but it is about the hard work of the people on the ground doing this, and I can't hammer that home enough. We have the ETLs, we have the teachers, we have the service providers, we have nurses, we have everybody who touches a child. I have my girls in PPS who take all of those files, there's so much paperwork, and they make sure that every file has everything it needs, it's all organized. When DESE came in, they were so impressed with the organization of our office. It's just so many people touching the lives of our students in so many different ways. And really, this just needs to be celebrated. So I wanted to share that.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right. I also provided you last time with an update of the service providers. We were having a really big issue last year with speech and language and OT. Couldn't find a full staff just to save our life last year. It was very, very difficult. And we were not the only district, but this is the only district I care about, right? So this year, we are fully staffed. All of our related therapies are fully staffed, and I actually have extra staff, and here's the reason why. We went over some caseloads over the summertime, and naturally, in Massachusetts, eligibility for special education is only rising, and this is true of the whole state. So OT right now is a hot topic. So what I did was I'm working with an outside contractor, and I have 3 days a week of an extra person coming in to help that department They're very, very thankful because I don't want to overburden our service providers, and I don't want to leave it so that if we have an influx of students eligible this year, we have nobody to service them. So we are ready, all right? So this is good. And keep your fingers crossed, everything's good. I also talked about, as being part of a central office team, we help prepare the buildings to be open for the school year. So in accordance with that, I work with the building principals to set up safety care training, and that is our de-escalation and restraint training. We do that per our restraint policy in the district. Per that policy, I work with the principals because they identified key staff in their building that they feel should hopefully take advantage of this training. They set up safety teams in their buildings as well. And I want to also have this takeaway that de-escalation is the key. It's 3/4, if not more, of that training. Restraint is only deployed as a last resort. It is not used as an intervention on the regular, okay? So I just want to make sure everybody knows that, but it is called safety care. We've used it for a number of years, and we're going to continue doing that again. So we are prepping that to open the school year. Next week, Mr. Hashem and I will be having a meet and greet with the CPAC. They will be hosting it, and it will be Wednesday morning here in the school committee meeting, 9 to 10, Thursday evening here, 6 to 7, and that will be messaged out on Blackboard Connect as well. And I do want to just let the community know, too, that as a, for me, in my professional practice, I do meet monthly with Department of Ed, the State Special Education Director. We do that across the state. It's a virtual meeting, but we get caught up on everything that may be happening coming down from the state so that we make sure that this district is in alignment with what it needs. I also belong to 2 other communities of practice locally, so that I know what the trends are, I know what's happening, and I can bring it back. If there's something really good happening, if the case law is popping and it's becoming a trend, we're ready. These are the things that you need to do just to make sure that you know you're taking care of the people in the community, okay? And I just want people to understand that Saugus is current, obviously with this report we are, and we'll stay that way. The piece about compliance, okay, so that word, I did mention last time, and I'll mention again. When we are in compliance, there's also opinion and emotion attached to special education, right? So special education comes with a lot of feeling on everybody's part. We want what's right for our kids. Advocacy groups come in, parents come in, caregivers come in. They want what's right for their kids. And sometimes there's discord, and that can happen. What we want to make sure is that we are communicating, we are open, and we're not on the defensive. And we talk about this. I've taken a mediation training so that I can help my ETLs with that, because the job is getting even more convoluted a little bit with a lot that's going on with that eligibility rate going up, okay? The demand is high. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands that compliance means that we are doing what we are supposed to, but there is emotion, opinion attached to special education, and we understand that, and we will always work to make whatever we need to happen, okay? We're not going to stop doing that. My walkthroughs in buildings are going great. The stuff I'm seeing in the classrooms, I'm really enjoying. I'm able to support the teachers and the service providers with this materials that they need. This happens each year. I go through and make sure, if they need any extra type of materials for their students and whatnot. And that's all going well. And the last thing I would say, I would just echo the sentiments of everybody here tonight from Mr. Sullivan. He's been a really good partner to me I've been here for 20 years, so he's been here as long as me. And we've worked together in so many different capacities through the high school. Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Yeah. All right. Any questions?
Anybody got any questions? Yeah, yeah.
Why don't you read that before bed tonight, Mr. Wittridge?
What's that?
Read that report before
Yeah, no, I'm all over it, thank you. All right, yeah, no, thank you very much. It's very informative. No one has any questions?
I asked mine last time, but again, this is just remarkable. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, no, and please, know that it's
Yeah.
a village.
And it's
It is.
a
Yeah.
communal
Oh, yeah.
thank you. It's-
Everybody,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'll say it firsthand that these special ed staff is incredible. The girls are working down the neck program. and
Yes.
Just overall, everywhere, at the vets, at the
Yep.
Belmonte, it's just, they're just such good people, very patient.
Yep.
Great people, and they do a great job, and it doesn't, I was gonna say it doesn't go unnoticed, because it doesn't really go unnoticed, but I know it probably feels to them like it does go unnoticed, because, it's tough being in the room all day, and especially with the kids with more severe disabilities, it's tough,
Sure.
But they do an incredible job, and like I said, they're just incredible people, so I feel lucky to have them. I feel lucky to have them in my daughter's life, too, so.
Oh, that's
So,
nice.
yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
Anybody else? All
Okay.
right. Well, thank you very much, Ms. Trainer.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I just really quickly just wanted to say I want to tip my hat to Mr. Sullivan by coming in a few minutes late. We all said nice things about him, and now we're saying the nice things about him all over again.
But
So
even
God.
even if we didn't, we can pretend like we did.
We could just pretend, yeah. Watch the tape.
Yeah, what's he care? He's leaving anyway, right? All right, so next we have approval of school committee minutes from 8/22/24.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair?
I don't know if I was here. I was not, okay. So can I get a second from,
Second?
Mr. Hatch seconds? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries 3-0. All right, then we have donation from various classroom supplies from the Burger King Foundation to Saugus Middle High School.
Make the motion to approve?
You think they get the crowns?
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
absolutely do.
Definitely take one of those. Chair will second. Any discussion or, no? If none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries 5-0.
4-0.
Oh, 4-0, excuse me. All right, so that's it for the agenda. Next up, we have public comments. Anybody wish to speak? Get one up. Let's get the ground rules down first. If it's not on the agenda, and we don't talk about it, you guys can say what you want, but we can't banter back and forth with you guys on this stuff. Everybody's get 3 minutes. It's just, that's the public comment rules, no big deal. But I know you guys all abide by it, so it's not a big deal. But I do have to say it. So, was it Ms. Meredith or Ms. Prizio? All right, Ms. Prizio, go ahead.
I have faith.
Hi, Trish Prezio. I'm a teacher over at the Saugus Middle High School. What I do want to say first is the opening of the school was great. Hasn't run that smooth for the middle school in years, and I truly believe that the team we have is doing a fabulous job.
That's great to hear.
I'm a little confused about the backpack situation, so I just wanted to see if I can get some clarification, because are we not following the student handbook as
Well-
the rules of what it says in there? Because we do have
Yeah, well,
rules for middle
I
school.
read the student handbook, and it's not really a policy. It was snuck in kind of as an infraction. And I don't ever remember voting on anything about backpacks. As a matter of fact, it really doesn't bring any value to the kids, not to have the backpacks. The kids, we're taking these kids from elementary school coming into the middle school, as you guys know, and we're supposed to make that as smooth as possible. And having them go to class, go to their locker in the morning, and then get everything they need for 4 periods, and then go to the locker again for the next stuff, it doesn't really help with their psyche. I get a lot of parents complaining about it. They're not gonna complain to you guys, because you guys are the ones telling them to put their backpack in there.
So that was running very smoothly up until today.
Yeah, well,
So
yeah,
it was
as far
running-
as you know, but
it
like I
was
said, we
running-
get a lot of complaints about it, so we work the backpack policy.
It was
Oh, the
running very
backpack
smoothly.
infraction.
I can speak for my team of students in the 7th grade. It was running very smoothly. There were no complaints.
To you guys, correct.
The students were using the lockers. They were not complaining about their lockers. They were putting everything in there. They have a break every single period.
I'm being told they can't go until they go once, then they get 4 periods, then they get to go
No,
again.
not, well, from what I'm talking about, the 7th grade, they go every single period. So the pod is right there.
It is, it's 2 minutes.
The classes are right, they're in one
I guess my big question is, so how does this help the kids, though? That's what I'm trying to find out. It doesn't help the kids,
But it does, it helps them be organized, because if they're not organized, if they shove everything in their backpacks.
Well, we've already had kids, parents complaining that teachers tell the kids they can't go get their work if they forget it in their locker. If
But I think
there's no
that's-
give and take, then there's got to be some kind of
But I
leeway
think
with the
that
kids.
can be worked out.
Well, what is the problem at the high school? There's no problem there. The teachers, there's 32 kids in classes there, and I don't hear any teachers complaining about it at the high school. They're all out of the way. They either hang them on their hooks, or they got them behind the desk, or they have them out of the way. The kids, if you tell the kids where to put them, they'll be very respectful where to put them. But I don't see the problem with the kids having what they need to be ready for class, instead of being nervous about being late for class, or being nervous about forgetting something in their locker and not being able to go back and get it, or being nervous about dropping stuff down the stairs, or any of that stuff. It's just, like I said, we should just take that nervousness away from the kids and let them have the backpacks.
Right, can I just ask this question?
Sure, sure.
About how many parents complained about that?
A lot of parents.
What's a lot?
Just
Is a
on back
lot
to school
like
night, when
five? Is a lot
I was at
10?
back to school night, and I must have had, in the hallway, at least 10 parents approach me about it. They all get in groups, and they ask me about it. And just this morning, I got a couple texts saying, oh, well, some teachers said that the kids can't, they never saw the backpack policy. They never saw the email go out. So you gotta go put your books back in your locker, your backpack back in your locker.
And they.
Like I said, we're not supposed to be making things tough for the kids, this is,
We're not making it tough for the kids.
but you know what, this is what I say.
I'm not gonna argue
and,
back and forth,
I know
because
this
you know
is
that I can sit here and talk.
No, no, I hear you,
about
but
it.
this is where the unpopular opinion comes in, because, the kids leave the middle schools in droves, let's face it, that's where we lose all our kids, and this is a tough transition for them. And when it gets tough like that, they don't want any part of it. And the parents right away, right when there's one sign of trouble, they automatically assume the whole place is going downhill. And you guys, you said yourself, you had a great opening, and I think we have a great team in place, I really do. And I just think this backpack thing
We had
shouldn't
an
even be an
opening
issue.
with no backpacks.
It shouldn't even be an issue, you know what I mean? It's, like I said, the high school kids are figured it out, the high school teachers have no problem with it. I just, it's supposed to be, what do we say, one building, one team, one plan? So, it's just, like I said, I think, it's a frivolous battle that we're fighting here, It's time to kind of focus on education for us. We never really get to focus on education, we always get the problems. People come to us with these problems, and I feel like it's all I do all day is listen to, things that shouldn't be an issue, but are an issue,
And I agree, we are focusing on education.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, no,
And
that's what I mean, that's what we
parents
should,
focus on the
so,
education too, not backpacks.
right, this is exactly what I'm saying.
Good evening, school committee members, Mr. Superintendent. My name is Jeannie Merritt. Congratulations on your next endeavor. I enjoyed working with you for many years as well. I was coming to speak about the wellness, but given the backpack issue, I will say that as a prior school committee member and a person that's been very involved in this town for many years, I myself received a million phone calls about this backpack. This was an ongoing issue before. I thought it was fixed. We have new desks, there's hooks, that whole thing, I thought it was all rectified. Even the email that went out, I got parents sending me emails. This is stuff I don't even want to hear about anymore at this point in my life. However, from a personal perspective, it makes no sense to tell the kids. If the kid feels better having a backpack and he feels like he can take his stuff that he needs for that class and bring it and keep it on his desk and keep it out of the aisleway, there's people are putting bags in the aisles here. But be respectful of that, make a plan, and be clear. It's always miscommunication. The message is never clear. The email that went out last night was not clear. All right, that aside, I had requested from the chair as well,
Yep.
Mr. Super, you were in the meeting, to have the wellness on the agenda to get an update. I don't want to wait till January. I'm on the wellness committee.
Right.
It's the superintendent committee, and it's mandated by the state to meet 4 times a year.
Yep.
We've talked about maybe meeting monthly because it would be more productive. That's something that we'll discuss as a committee. But I wanted to, right out of the gate, get an update on what we're using for the wellness curriculum this year, so we can know, ahead and see what needs to be tweaked moving forward, right out of the gate, as opposed to waiting to the year's half over, and then we're at that point where we're focusing on MCAS and all kinds of other things. So, I don't see it on the agenda. If we could put it on the next agenda, I would appreciate that. I was told it was on this agenda, that's why I'm here tonight, missing my neighbor's son going off to the military dinner. So, that being said, could we get that on the next agenda, please? Mr. Vice Chair, could you please communicate that to your chair?
Absolutely will, thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Good
Thank you, Ms.
evening.
Meredith. There we go. Get that there. Oh, Mr. Palante is going up. Sorry, Ms. Good.
Matt Palante, Precinct 2. I didn't plan on saying anything, but I just wanted to echo the health and wellness. I went to those subcommittee meetings. I know there are 4 mandated per year, So I'd like to see one on the calendar even before, the next meeting. It really shouldn't be that challenging to get it on the calendar and get it scheduled and get the people to the table. It's almost the end of the year. It's going to,
No, absolutely.
January 1st will be here like that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Ms. Pissarro?
Hi, Gina Pissarro. Again, the backpacks. I've been teaching middle school a very long time, and I remember the days when we did not have students carrying backpacks. I never really thought it was much of an issue for the students when they had to go to their lockers. They could go to their lockers in between classes. I believe that we've all, up to this point, been flexible on their time in between classes, not marking them late. We know they only have 2 minutes. But my biggest concern is I myself fell in my classroom last year. I wrote an incident report and so forth. I hurt my knee pretty good. The way the classrooms are set up, even the ones that have the hooks, they're tight. And when teachers are trying to help students and move around a classroom, it does become a danger for us. And even I had all the kids keep the backpacks to the side because the wires in the classroom in my STEM lab, they would start hanging, the backpacks would knock the wires out. Those backpacks were off to the side, spilling over into the area where I move around or I'm helping a student, and that's where I fell. Other safety issues, students going in and out of the bathroom with the backpacks in between classes is also a concern. I think as a staff, we are looking out for the students. We are looking out for their safety, and this is why I think most of the teachers had requested that we consider trying this with the students putting the backpacks in the locker. And we've had the support of our administration this year in helping us roll this plan out. So, again, I know it's a little bit of a sensitive issue right now, but it's just something to think about, the safety of the classroom itself, and for the teachers and the students. Students can trip over these backpacks also. It's just the way that the environment is set up in a lot of these rooms. So, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We will be talking about it in the policy committee anyway, so we definitely will get some input on that stuff, right? I mean,
Yeah.
okay, thank you. Ms. Hogan.
Carrie Hogan, 11 Maple Street. Been a while. How's everybody?
How are you, Ms. Hogan?
Miss my face? I thought so.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Just on the, what you just said about the safety of the school, right? Safety of the kids, safety. Where are we at with the resource officer?
Well, it's not on the agenda, but I'll tell you this, it won't even be brought up again until the next budget cycle. So right now, it's just it's not
So we
it's
can
not an
take
issue.
backpacks out of the class to keep the kids and the students safe and the teachers safe, but we can't bring an officer in to keep our kids safe. Just want to make sure I have that clear.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Mr. Sullivan?
Brendan Sullivan, current principal of Saugus Middle High School, through the end of the day tomorrow. I couldn't pass the opportunity to just come up to the microphone one last time. I just want to thank everyone for 23 great years in Saugus. I worked with a lot of great staff, including many people in this room. I've worked with, I was trying to do the math a few minutes ago. I was an English teacher, so bear with me. But it was, 23 years. It's probably been thousands of students that I've interacted with. We have the best students in Saugus. I've been fortunate enough to be here long enough that I have former students now working with and for me, and it's just wonderful. Like, they love the school so much that they want to come back, they want to be here. So, despite whatever issues we may have and come up, just remember, it's a great system with great people. The reason people come out is because they care so much. So just thank you all. Thank you to Mike. And I hope to see you all.
Yeah, hey, thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, I know I'm not supposed to do any rebuttal on that, no. Public comment, but
let's.
No, you weren't here earlier, so I did want to personally thank you for everything. We've worked ridiculously closely for probably 15 of the 23 years.
That's not at all what he said.
But I just personally want to thank you for doing everything to support me over these years. You mean a lot to me, so it's difficult watching you say goodbye. So tomorrow's not going to be an easy day for me either, so. And I appreciate everything you did, and I want to say that publicly in front of everybody. So thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I've been sitting on my hands because I tried not to talk during public comment, but I'll make an exception this time. I just want to thank you for everything you've done over the years. When we came in, it was COVID was starting, schools were moving, everything was happening, and you were there every day. You were a constant presence. You always answered the phone. I just have one question for you as you leave.
Yep.
What is your new commute? How many minutes?
It's probably like 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to let my jealousy take over me now, and I'm going to stop talking, but
It's about half of now.
yeah,
Oh, it's nice.
congratulations.
Mr.
That is-
Chairman,
Good, sir.
I guess I want to, I've already said my piece about Mr. Sullivan. Just a great guy, even a better family man. And I think he's another example. I'm sitting here watching the meeting, listening to about the SPED report. I'm listening to great opening all around. I'm listening to all this positive stuff, and Mr. Sullivan just touched upon something, and that is, it is truly amazing to see people go through the system and want to come back in the system.
Yeah. You got accountable,
And-
too.
And there's so many teachers that start out with a school district and end up retiring from our school district. They start out as students, and you work hard. There's several of them in this room right now. I made a joke before this meeting about to one of an amazing educator about, above and beyond in what she does for the drama festival and the school plays earlier. We don't celebrate the wins enough around here.
Yeah.
And some of us want to focus on the negative. Like, we're a good district, and I really appreciate the hard work that everybody does. This SPED report, Mr. Sullivan's 23 years, it's just all great stuff. Our new middle school principal talking so enthusiastic about what we're doing. People, let's start celebrating the wins here and stop concentrating on the minutia. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Hatch. Anybody else for public comment? Mr. Vine?
So, Elaine Devine, and I'm now up at the middle school. And I just want to comment that I've worked in Saugus for 12 years. I have never been so supported as I have with the associate and the assistant principal. They are unbelievable. They're open. You can go to them about anything. I don't feel like they're on the other side anymore. It's all, the backpack things bother me a little bit because I think that you should speak with them, not just with the parents, because they have reasons for why they're doing this. And you're not up at the middle school, and it's a total different animal than I came from first grade, and now I'm up at seventh.
I have two kids in my house that live in the middle school.
No, I know. I love the middle school age. Love it. That's where I should be. But there's reasons why people do things, and I just don't want, I don't want the admin that we have that is so good to feel that they're not heard either. So I want to keep up that good relationship. So I'm hoping when you do the policy committee, that you do take into consideration why they decided to do what they did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because parents don't always understand, and everything they're saying is true. And today was the first day that I had a kid with a phone because they're allowed to have their backpacks. So, and they are all over the place. And I'm old, and I'm walking up and down all over the whole entire classroom. Their crap is everywhere. So, they're not organized. And their stuff's everywhere, even when there isn't the backpacks, I'm tripping over stuff. So I really want you to think about that, and also to consider speaking to them and really listening to them, because they're in the trenches. And I really feel that they're supporting their teachers, which I've never felt that way before in Saugus. And So whoever hired them, good job. Best year I've ever had here, ever.
That's good to
And
hear.
it's tough starting, going up to a new school, but it is, even the teachers, they all came in, supported me, gave me things, helped me. It's unbelievable. I had to keep checking to see if I was in Saugus.
Yeah, you get some good people up there, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah,
So,
so that's good to hear. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman,
Sir?
motion to adjourn?
Before we do that, I just want to remind everybody that Saturday is Founder's Day, 9 to 3. We have a lot of clubs at the school that are going to be down there doing their thing, have different tables and stuff. So, you know, if you can, just get out there and support the kids. Ignore all the other booths, just get down there and support the kids. That's all we ask you, so. And I think Mr. Fisher said you're going to be in the jail for the band, right?
I'm looking into it.
All right,
I'm
all right.
looking into it.
So, but, yeah, so Mr. Hatch made a motion to adjourn. Chair will second. All in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
All right, all opposed? All right, motion carries 5-0. Thank you much, everybody, for
you.
speaking tonight and everybody for coming. Thank you.